Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you. And it's for Monday, the 27th day of July. Here we go. I hope you had a very meaningful Tisha B'Av. And now I want to follow up with some laws of remembering the destruction of the temple that actually apply to us all year long. If a person is designing a home from scratch and it hasn't been painted yet, so on the first time that the house is painted, there is a halacha that it is appropriate to leave an amma square area, that's a cubit by a cubit, it's about like a foot and a half by a foot and a half, 2 feet by 2 feet, square area over somewhere like when you walk in the house near the front door that stares at you and it's unpainted. And it'll look a little jarring, to walk into a beautiful new fresh home and everything's all gorgeous and painted and there's one spot there not painted. And that's considered zecher lechurban, a remembering of the destruction of the temple. That's a law that still applies today. And when we prepare our homes, and we just make it like things are not quite perfect because we don't have the Beis Hamikdash right now. Whether you're supposed to do that to your home that was already painted when you bought it and rip off the paint that's there, that you should discuss with your rabbi. But the halacha more strictly is written about people, first painting their home and leaving a spot unpainted. There really is a custom to say Al Naros Bavel, that special paragraph which discusses when we were outside of, when we were exiled, and to say that before benching all year long when it isn't Shabbos or Yontif. Somehow that's fallen out of common practice, and people remember to do that during the 9 days, but really officially the halacha was that Al Naros Bavel is recited before benching all year long before meals, before benching. Some poskim were puzzled as to why it happened that we're not doing it all year long. At least a lot of people aren't. And then some people remember to do it during the 9 days. An amma by an amma law about leaving the place, unfinished. That cubit by cubit is not done in a shul, and it applies to if you have a home in Yerushalayim that you're building. It does apply inside of Yerushalayim, and now more laws that apply also that help us remember the Churban. When a chassan walks down to his wedding. When he's just about to walk down the aisle, they put some ashes on his top of his head where his tefillin go, just a little bit, and that's as a remembrance of the Churban. Does it stay there all the way till he gets to the chuppah? Seems like yes, but there are different customs. Does it apply to a kala? Seems like no. But everybody differs on these kinds of things. Of course, the famous one is the glass being broken under the chuppah. And that's of course Zecher L'Churban. We say that Yerushalayim should be Al Rosh Simchasi. So before I even get to say Mazel Tov to this wedding being completed, we first break a glass and remember the sadness of Yerushalayim. It's not considered wasteful to break that glass because it's a mitzvah to remember Yerushalayim. It is custom to do that with your right foot and to wrap it so that no one gets hurt when the glass breaks. The scream of Mazel Tov that everyone screams right as the glass is breaking, there are actually some poskim that frown on this because it's like a little frivolous how we're screaming Mazel Tov as the glass is breaking. But nevertheless, that has become the prevalent custom. When I used to play music in a band, they would often use they say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then say Od Yishama. So they would sometimes use the breaking of the glass as the one of the 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like 2, 3, 4. Oh, Od Yishama. Is that a halacha? No, it's just a common practice. But screaming that Mazel Tov is a little bit unusual. But that seems to be what everybody does. When you hear a glass break, just generally in the middle of nowhere, and you hear people scream out Mazel Tov, I don't know if that's a proper custom. That's just what people do because they're used to hearing a glass break at a wedding and then scream Mazel Tov. So when a glass breaks in a restaurant, you'll hear people say Mazel Tov. I don't think that's a law. There is some talk in the Shulchan Aruch about how if a chassan would want to wear a crown on his head, or a kala would want to wear a certain kind of crown, that we don't wear crowns really, and that's because also we want to remember the Churban. If a lady has a lot of jewelry, let's say she has 100 pieces of jewelry, she should never wear all 100 at the same time, and that's Zecher L'Churban, to just show that I can't be in my fullest happiness way. There's no Beis Hamikdash right now. Say the same thing about happiness in general. If you're at a party and you're just like totally slapsticking and having a tremendous humor, we never do humor all the way to the hilt because we're remembering that we don't have a Beis Hamikdash. The decree almost was that we wouldn't have music anymore after the destruction of the temple, but the rabbis said that they would have to allow some music because otherwise most people wouldn't be able to kind of sort of survive without music. So we do allow music, but there are some limitations here and there in halacha about how we listen to music. Maybe we'll get to that tomorrow. Thanks for logging on, and log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.